So you're considering moving to Pensacola, Florida. Well, today I'm going to give you a detailed pros and cons video in hopes to help make your decision on whether this is the right place for you. What's happening, folks? My name is Brant, your real estate agent right here along the Florida Gulf Coast. And I've lived in Pensacola now for the last 13 years. And there are so many great things about this area. And then there's some things that, hey, may not be so great, which is the case with every area. And there's been a lot of pros and cons videos made about this area, but I want to go over some stuff that may not have been talked about in those other videos. So I'm not going to talk about basic stuff like hurricanes. We all know that there's a chance that you're going to get hit by a hurricane here. I'm not going to talk about palmetto bugs. Yes, we have palmetto bugs. And if you do decide you want to move to Pensacola, Florida, well, feel free to hit me up and I will answer any questions that you may have. All my information is linked in the description below. You can call me, text me, email me. It does not matter. So let's talk about con number one, and that is going to be homeowners insurance. And you may be saying, Brant, homeowners insurance is a con everywhere right now, and you're not wrong. However, Pensacola has a lot of rich history, and it's been here a very long time. With that comes a lot of very old homes. Now, some of these old homes are built way better than the new homes, but that doesn't matter to these insurance companies. The insurance companies are not very kind right now to old homes. Now, don't let that discourage you from purchasing a home, because like any other markets, the insurance market fluctuates as well. Right now, it's just pretty tough. Now, here's what you can do. You can purchase a home built within the last 5 to 6 years, and you're not going to have near the hassle with the insurance companies as if you were to buy one of those homes in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But if you do want one of these older homes, which a lot of people do because they are built really well and they're located in a lot of really charming neighborhoods, you can do a lot of repairs to it prior to closing, and you may be required to do that by the insurance companies in order to close on your home. So if you don't mind maybe having to replace a roof, hot water heaters, different stuff like that prior to closing, then by all means, move forward with one of these older homes. And hey, repairs are always negotiable with the seller, so it is not always on the buyer. However, in order to assure yourself of getting the home that you want, I would be prepared to possibly have to do some of these repairs prior to closing. Now, the next con I want to talk about is running a small business and job opportunities. I'm actually standing right now outside of our AA baseball stadium. That's the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, and that's actually one of our pros is we do have an amazing AA baseball stadium. The games are so much fun to go to. But the reason I want to touch on running a small business and job opportunities is because Pensacola is a small city. It gives off a small town feel. Everybody knows everybody. So if you are a small business owner and you're moving to this area with the idea of thinking, hey, I'm going to start up my small business, just know that it's actually harder to break into a small town and a small city because everybody knows everybody. Let's take, for example, let's say you're a real estate agent or a home inspector or a lawn care service. Odds are that every family in Pensacola has either a friend or a family member that does one of those three things. And those are just three examples. It doesn't matter what you do that's in the service industry. Now, one thing that I can tell you is, and this is a positive about running a small business in a smaller area, if you have a customer first mindset and not make it about the money, make it about doing a fantastic job, because everybody talks, everybody's going to hear very quickly that you are the go-to service person for your particular industry. So if you do an amazing job, you're going to get noticed very quickly. So that is a plus of running a small business. And then I'm going to jump over to job opportunities. We don't have as many job opportunities in Pensacola as, let's say, in Atlanta or a Miami. We do have Navy Federal that employs thousands of people. We do have a big medical industry here. So if you are in the medical field, you'll definitely be able to find a job. And then education. There's lots of schools here, so there's always jobs in education. And our downtown area is getting bigger every year, so new businesses are popping up everywhere with new job opportunities. That being said, it might be slightly tougher to find employment here than if you were in a giant city. Now the next con on the list is parking. Now parking can get really annoying, especially in the downtown Pensacola area. You have several options for parking. You can park at one of these little guys right here, these little pay to park things. Now you are always a pro to that. You're always gonna find a parking spot here with those things. However, it can get really expensive, especially on a night when there's something going on, which is all the time on the weekends. There's a festival or a ball game or a parade or something like that. Now your next option for parking is gonna be your Pensacola pay to park options. These are these guys right behind me. Now these guys are gonna be a lot cheaper. However, the chances of you finding a place to park in one of those spots when there's something going on or during a busy weekday are very slim to none, so you may be stuck with the more expensive parking options. Another thing that's kind of annoying about the parking is we have gotten multiple times, we've gotten expensive tickets that said we didn't pay to park and we really did. And so these were like $150 tickets, and so we had to take time out of our day to get our tickets resolved. And so that was pretty annoying, but I will say this, every time it did get resolved, but it was pretty annoying. So the next con I want to talk about is winter, and when I discuss winter, I want to talk about it more from a water temperature, beach, and marine life angle. So our area is different than other parts of Florida. If you're thinking about Florida, you're usually thinking about the Florida Keys or South Florida, where it's going to be summer 365 days out of the year, and you're going to be able to enjoy your water sports and fish and all that stuff. And that's just not the case. We have 3 to 4 solid months here where our water temperature is really cold and a lot of the marine life leaves. And so you're going to be looking at the water and you're not going to see any fish at all. And all of a sudden they're just going to show back up when the water temperature hits a certain degree. So you're not going to have your water sports, your beach time and all that stuff for 3 to 4 months out of the year. You can still go to the beach and enjoy yourself, but just know that our area of Florida is much colder than other parts of Florida. We have a lot of days with freezing temperatures here. So that I consider a con. Every year in January, I'm like, I'm moving to South Florida, but it's never the case. I love this area a lot more. This area has way more to offer from a long-term living standpoint. I will say this, even though we're talking about all these cons right now, it is an absolutely beautiful day here in downtown Pensacola. I mean, it's probably one of the best days of the winter so far. 70 degrees, sunny, great day to be outside. Let's talk about the last con, and that is going to be public transportation. There's not a lot of reliable options here for public transportation. We do have it. Would I rely on it? Probably not. This area caters more to people that have their own vehicle, that don't mind spending money to park. So if you are used to public transportation, you're probably going to be disappointed with what Pensacola has to offer. However, I'm gonna put a spin on that and say, because this is a smaller city, you don't need it nearly as bad as you would in a larger city. Now that we've got all the cons out of the way, let's start talking about some good things that Pensacola has to offer. I'm actually standing right now outside the Fish House restaurant. It's a local favorite here. It has amazing waterfront views. And because I'm standing here, I gotta say the first pro is the food scene here in the area. It has come so far over the last 10 years. We have some of the best restaurants on the entire Gulf Coast, along with arguably the best food truck scene. Our food trucks are top of the line here, and I find myself hitting those up more and more just because the food quality is so outstanding. So as much as I like food, I got to put food as a pro here in Pensacola, Florida. Now the next pro I want to discuss is there is something to do for everyone here. Whether your interests are the restaurant and bar scene downtown, we've got it. If you're a history buff, we have so much rich history here in Pensacola. If you love to fish and love water sports, obviously our area is surrounded by water. If nature is your thing, we're surrounded by national seashores that offer a lot of nature opportunities like like hiking and camping. If sports are your thing, we have a professional baseball team, we have a hockey team. All of our high schools around here have great athletic programs, and obviously the beach. I mean, who doesn't like the beach? That's one thing I can say from living in Pensacola is we don't ever get bored. Even in the winter time, there's a lot to do here. So that's a huge plus for Pensacola, Florida. So let's talk about the next pro. The next pro I'm going to talk about is cost of living. Now, Pensacola is an area that is right at 6% below the national average in terms of cost of living. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're not going to spend money here, because you absolutely will. You know, just your everyday living stuff like gas, groceries, power, water, trash, that stuff is still affordable, even though groceries are getting to the point where they're not. So here are a couple of my monthly expenses, just so y'all can see. This is my electric bill right here, and this was actually the highest my electric bill has ever been because it was cold and we kept it running all month. And this is my water, trash, and sewer. I would say the next pro is the ease of traveling in and out of Pensacola. So if you're someone that has to travel a lot for work, or just someone that likes to travel a lot anyways, there are two interstates running through Pensacola. We've got I-110 and then I-10. So wherever you live in this area, you're going to be very close to an interstate. And if you're flying, if you need the airport is very easy to navigate. It's a smaller airport. It usually only takes half an hour to get through security and everything. It's not a stressful airport, if you know what I mean. I've been in airports like LAX where I'm like super stressed trying to get to where I need to go, or Atlanta. This is nothing like it. So it is very easy to come and go here in the Pensacola area. Now, last but not least on our pros list is our abundance of family-friendly neighborhoods here in Pensacola. And no matter where you choose to live, whether it's East Pensacola, where I live right here, West Pensacola, or up north, you're always going to be close to everything you need. You're going to be within minutes of grocery stores, gas stations, churches, schools, the interstate. So in case you need to travel, it's a very convenient place to live. And the abundance of neighborhoods that we have is why so many families come here and settle down. You know what's cool is I was just driving down the road right here. You got kids playing football in the yards. They're riding their bikes. You don't see that a lot anymore. And we used to do that when I was growing up in like the 80s and 90s. And so it's really cool to see these neighborhoods where kids are playing outside. Folks, if you enjoyed that video, go ahead and shoot me a big thumbs up. Everything we're involved with linked in my description below. Like I said, if you need any help whatsoever moving to this area or selling a piece of property in this area, I'll be more than happy to help you out. All of my information is linked in the description below. We'll catch you next time.